The rap world is shaking. And no, it's not just leftover tremors from the first lyrical war between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. It looks like round two isn't just coming. It's already underway. And this time, Drake isn't playing defense. He just called himself the real Boogeyman, and fans are spiraling, speculating, and straight up losing their minds over what that means. Just when everyone thought the dust had finally settled after that brutal diss track war that had the internet ablaze, Drake lit a fresh match and threw it right into the gas tank. Is he really trying to bait Kendrick into another showdown? Or is this part of a bigger plan, something darker, more personal? Sources say the tension is way deeper than bars. Behind the scenes, there's talk of betrayal, secret studio meetings, coded messages, and even mutual friends forced to pick sides. And when Drake whispered those infamous words, "I am the real Boogeyman," insiders say it wasn't just a flex. It was a direct shot, a warning, a threat. So why now? Why this moment? And what's Kendrick's next move? Grab your popcorn, because what you're about to hear changes everything. Drama is boiling over in ways no one saw coming. When Drake posted a cryptic story to his Instagram, just a black screen with 3 words in white, "The real Boogeyman," the internet froze. Fans were confused at first. Some laughed, some dismissed it as one of Drake's usual cryptic aesthetic posts. But then, whispers started to grow. What if that wasn't just a mood post? What if it was a message? And not just to anyone, but to Kendrick. What followed was a full-on eruption. Less than 24 hours later, Champagne Papi unfollowed 3 key producers known to be closely affiliated with Kendrick. The same night, he was seen at a late-night studio session in Toronto, windows covered, no phones allowed. Multiple sources say he was heard rapping aggressive bars that included veiled references to control, crown snatching, and West Coast royalty. That's when fans started connecting the dots. Was Drake plotting revenge? Was this the beginning of round 2? Insiders close to Drake say the rapper has been boiling in silence since the fallout of their first beef. Sure, he kept it cool in public, laughing on live streams, posting vacation pics, and partying in Turks and Caicos, but behind the scenes, he was spiraling. One source who claims to have worked with Drake during that period said he wasn't the same. He'd go quiet for hours, just staring at lyrics. He'd say things like, "I let him have that moment. I won't let him have the legacy." This wasn't just music anymore. This was personal. The wounds from Kendrick's diss weren't just lyrical, they were spiritual. Apparently, Drake felt betrayed not just by Kendrick, but by the industry. By people he thought were allies who went radio silent when things got heated. One of those names, A-list producer Noah Shabib, better known as 40. And now rumor has it the two are barely speaking. What sparked the rift? Well, after Kendrick's infamous freestyle dropped, 40 reportedly advised Drake to let it go and don't respond out of ego. Drake didn't take that well. He allegedly felt 40 was siding with the enemy, or worse, trying to protect a legacy that didn't belong to Drake anymore. One heated exchange allegedly ended with Drake saying, "You think they'll remember him more than me? Is that what you think?" Emotion ran high in the OVO camp. Longtime friends and collaborators were suddenly walking on eggshells. Tensions flared when a private OVO group chat leaked, revealing cryptic messages like "the knife's in the back" and "never again will silence be my brand." Fans immediately speculated these were references to Betrayal and to Kendrick. But the most chilling twist came when a voice note began circulating on Reddit, allegedly featuring drakesvoice.com and Cold, saying, "Round 2 starts when I say so. Not when he claps first. He got his war, now I get mine." Meanwhile, Kendrick has remained eerily silent. No tweets, no interviews, no cryptic posts, nothing. And that silence? It's deafening. Some believe it's the calm before the storm. Others think he's already moved on. But those close to Kendrick claim he knows something is coming. Apparently, a close Teed associate said, "K. ain't sleeping. He's watching, He got eyes everywhere. But why now? Why is Drake choosing this moment to stir the pot again? Well, fans believe it all traces back to an unreleased documentary that was supposedly being shot in secret by Drake's team. Doc was reportedly focused on legacy battles in hip-hop, and guess who took center stage in the storyline? Kendrick. The pitch of the documentary, according to a leaked email, was reclaiming the crown in the shadows of defeat. Let that sink in. Drake doesn't just want a round two. He wants redemption. He wants control of the narrative. And that's where the real Boogeyman idea comes in. He's done being the nice guy. He's done being the emoji-loving, meme-generating, chart-topping pop rapper. He's ready to remind the world that behind the charisma and Instagram filters, there's someone ruthless, someone who remembers everything. It all came to a head last week during a private OVO party in Miami, where several industry insiders reported a fiery exchange between Drake and another rapper who made a joke about Kendrick's last album outperforming Drake's in critical circles. Drake reportedly slammed his drink down, stood up, and said, "Loud enough for the room to hear, watch me take everything back. Watch me make him regret ever stepping out of his lane." And then came the most shocking moment yet. A leaked clip from an unreleased track, allegedly titled The Return, where Drake spits. They love a poet when the poem don't cut, but when the blade's in the verse, they all run in. For luck, I was quiet out of mercy. Now I'm loud for the sport. Tell the king of the West I'm the final report. The internet lost it. Fans were divided. Some were hyped, chanting for round two, calling it the battle of the decade. Others begged for peace, saying it's time for unity, not destruction. But most were glued to their screens, waiting, watching, refreshing Drake's feed every hour, praying for the drop dot. But even as the world watches Drake, no one's paying attention to the one person who might know what's really going on: Kendrick's cousin, baby Kem. According to backstage sources, Keem has been acting distant during recent performances. He's skipped multiple events, canceled an interview, and one reporter claims he looked tense and distracted during a rehearsal. When asked off the record about the rumors of round two, he allegedly muttered, "Ain't nothing dead, it's just sleeping." And maybe that's the real horror here. The idea that this war was never really over, just on pause. Like a movie intermission before Act 2, blows the roof off the theater, and just as the rap world leaned into the suspense, another twist landed. An anonymous tip was sent to a hip-hop blog claiming that Drake had already finished 2 diss tracks. Not 1, 2, both unreleased, both deadly, and both being kept under wraps until the perfect moment. What is the perfect moment? And why is Drake waiting? Well, according to one OVO insider, the answer is even darker than fans realize. And that's where things get very complicated. Because the perfect moment, it might not be about music at all. It might be about family. The whispers about family ties and hidden motives were quiet at Squall at first, but once word spread that Drake's father, Dennis Graham, had recently been seen leaving a private dinner with none other than Anthony, top dog to Fitha, head of Kendrick's former label TD, the internet exploded. What were they doing together? Why now? And most importantly, what were they planning? Some believe the meeting was innocent. Others insist it was the trigger. According to a leaked text thread between an OVO team member and an unnamed industry exec, Dennis Graham was furious after the dinner. The message read, he said they disrespected Aubrey to his face, laughed about the first battle like it was a joke, called it light work. He didn't take it well. Drake has always kept his family close. Whatever that dinner was, it clearly lit a fire. 2 days later, he scrubbed his Instagram, posted a single image silhouette of a man standing in flames with no caption. Fans swarmed the post, some convinced it was symbolic of rebirth. Others said it looked like someone burning everything down. And then came the confirmation that blew the lid off everything. A producer known for being one of Drake's closest TS collaborators who goes by the name Vision dropped a voice tweet, quickly deleted, saying, "He told me it's not about bars anymore. It's about blood, legacy. He's going for the jugular." No mercy this time. Suddenly, the term Boogeyman didn't feel so metaphorical anymore. Drake was turning into something else, something colder. One source said he's rewriting the rules. This isn't a battle, it's a purge. And Kendrick, still silent. Still no response, but the silence only made things louder. Rumors started flying that Kendrick was working in complete secrecy in Morocco, reportedly in a rented fortress with a recording studio flown in. Apparently, he's building something, but fans don't know if it's music or a counterstrike. Then came the betrayal no one saw coming. Someone from Kendrick's own circle, an assistant audio engineer named Yero, leaked a blurry video showing a list of track titles on a laptop. One title stood out: Empire's Fall. Below it, handwritten on a notepad, were the words, "Boogeyman, don't scare gods." The implication was clear. Kendrick knew. But here's where things get even messier. Around this time, fans started noticing that several of Drake's oldest collaborators, people who were silent during the first beef, were now suddenly active again. One of them, Parton Exter, dropped a vague tweet. "Sometimes you gotta remind people who built the stage they standing on." Fans immediately read it as a shot at Kendrick. But then came a bombshell. A leaked OVO group chat revealed a message from Drake that read, "They think I'm playing chess. I'm playing demolition." The same thread included a list of names: engineers, producers, ghostwriters, many of whom used to work with Kendrick but were now allegedly open for hire. Was Drake building an army? And what about the diss tracks? Where were they? Well, sources close to OVO said the first track, titled Deep Cuts, is a 6-minute lyrical onslaught. Not just shots at Kendrick, but the entire culture that crowned him king without asking who built the castle. Apparently, it includes real voicemails, deleted tweets, and bar-for-bar breakdowns of Kendrick's so-called hypocrisies. One insider called it career-altering. But Drake hasn't dropped it. Not yet. Why? Because he's waiting on a trigger. Something personal. And that trigger came in the form of an unexpected betrayal from inside his own home. Sophie Brousseau, Drake's former partner and mother of his son, Adonis, reportedly had a tense phone call with Drake after rumors surfaced that she had been in contact with Kendrick's manager. Was supposed to be about charity work, but according to insiders, Drake flipped out after hearing about it. One friend said he didn't yell. He just said, "This is how they want to play. Fine, game on." And then he hung up. The very next day, Adonis's Instagram account, run by Drake's team, posted a video of the child drawing a picture of a masked man in flames. The caption, "Monsters live under the bed, but Daddy lives in the studio." Fans were stunned. Was this Drake's way of saying he's weaponizing everything now, even fatherhood? The backlash was immediate. Some called it unhinged, others called it marketing genius. But either way, it was clear Drake had committed to the bit. He was the boogeyman now, and he was daring Kendrick to open the door. Then came the fan theory that broke the internet. The cover of Drake's upcoming project allegedly features a mirror with no reflection. Fans speculated it's a direct nod to Kendrick's mirror on his last album and a message that Drake's now erasing the image Kendrick tried to build of him. But Kendrick, still radio silent. Until something strange happened. A billboard appeared in downtown Los Angeles. No artist's name, just black text on a white background. "If the boogeyman is real, tell him I don't sleep." No one claimed it, but fans knew. Kendrick had just stepped into the ring, and Drake, he smiled. Literally, he posted a photo that day with a caption, "Finally, we're home." The entire industry was watching now. Rappers, influencers, media personalities, everyone was weighing in. Joe Budden did an emergency podcast. Charlemagne started a countdown clock on The Breakfast Club. Even Eminem reportedly called both camps and warned them, "Don't lose your soul chasing shadows." But it was too late. The shadows were already moving, and then came the leaked second track, Night Prayers. This one wasn't just about Kendrick. It was about everyone who doubted Drake. The lyrics allegedly include references to awards, snubs, betrayal by friends, and even a diss aimed at J. Cole, suggesting he held hands with a ghost when the bullets came. The line, "You watched a king bleed and offered him a poem. Soft? Kings make hard graves." Fans were shook. Was Drake really dragging Cole into this? Cole's camp immediately went quiet. One insider said he's retreating to the studio, possibly preparing his own statement. But others say Cole wants nothing to do with this. He's seen what this war did to reputations the first time. He doesn't want the smoke, but that's exactly what Drake wants now. He wants everyone. And just when fans thought it couldn't get messier, another twist hit the timeline. Drake's single quotes as cousin. Nico, who rarely speaks publicly, tweeted and deleted, "Family means war. If you're not with us, you're in the verse." He followed it up with a red circle emoji, the same emoji Kendrick once used during their original beef. Coincidence? It's no chance. This was war. Coded, layered, personal dot. And it was just getting started. As soon as Nico's tweet hit the timeline and vanished just as fast, fans knew something was up. Red circle emoji. Family warning shots? Drake wasn't just preparing for battle, he was calling in bloodlines. Within hours, OVO affiliates started sharing vague, aggressive stories on their socials. Black screens, ticking clock audios, even clips from horror movies with captions like, "Sleep tight while you can." And then, just like that, the countdown began. A mysterious website surfaced. RealBoogeyman.com, featuring nothing but a digital timer and the words, "Let's finish this." Fans lost it. Reddit threads blew up. Speculation ran wild. Was this a new album? A diss? A visual short film? No one knew. But the timer was set for midnight, 6 days from now. And Drake, completely quiet. Not a single post since the mirror. Until, out of nowhere, a live stream popped up. No promo, no warning, just a single candlelit room. And Drake, wearing all black, sitting in a chair sipping wine. Silence for 2 whole minutes. And then he spoke. People love fairy tales. They love kings and saviors and voices for the voiceless. But they forget what happens when the monster wakes up. "I'm not your villain, I'm your consequence." He ended the stream right there. Fans were shook. Some said it felt like a trailer for a psychological thriller. Others claimed it was a warning. One even dubbed it the inception of beef. And in the shadows of all this noise, there was one voice still holding the silence like a loaded weapon, Kendrick. But now, his silence felt strategic, because while Drake was building suspense with shadows and subtle jabs, word broke that Kendrick had been in contact with 3 of Drake's former collaborators, people who were involved in early OVO sessions, including someone who helped produce Take Care. But true, that meant Kendrick wasn't just watching. He was collecting, digging, building something. And then, the heartbreak. A voicemail leaked. Allegedly from Drake's mom, Sandy Graham. In it, her voice is calm but worried. "I know you're upset, sweetheart. But don't let this turn you into something you're not. You've come too far. You don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. Not even him." The voicemail was supposedly sent weeks ago, but it's leaked now. Felt calculated? Fans debated. Was it a plea? A warning? Or is someone using it to paint Drake as unstable? Some even speculated Kendrick's team leaked it to humanize Drake. Right before striking again. And that strike? Oh, it came down anonymous. YouTube channel uploaded a 28-second teaser titled Boogeyman Hunted. No names, no faces, just audio. A voice that sounded very much like Kendrick's whispering. "You can scare the world, but not the mirror." You see what's coming? And it's not me you fear. It's what I'll leave behind. It ends with a slow heartbeat fading into static. Fans were losing their minds. Theories piled up. Some said the teaser hinted at a reverse diss, where Kendrick would paint Drake as his own worst enemy. Others believed this was the start of a concept album. One fan even theorized that the heartbeat at the end matched the rhythm of a song from Kendrick's early mixtapes, implying he's been planning this for years. But as wild as the theories were, the real drama was playing out in real life, specifically between the inner circles of both rappers. Reports emerged of a confrontation in Los Angeles at a private event attended by various music execs. According to eyewitnesses, a heated exchange took place between two unnamed OVO members and someone from Kendrick's Teed past. Words were exchanged, drinks were thrown, and security had to step in. One person, an assistant to a popular music manager, tweeted and deleted, "This ain't lyrical. This is generational. They're tearing the house down from inside." The industry was splitting. Insiders were choosing sides, quietly aligning with Drake, drawn to his influence, power, and reach. Others gravitating toward Kendrick, believing he represents authenticity, resistance, and lyrical purity. But no one was staying neutral anymore. And then came the third leak. And this one was different. Not a track, not a teaser. Blurred image of what looked like a handwritten letter addressed simply to the throne. The note read, "They gave you the kingdom because you danced for it. I walked through fire for mine. K. No court, no jury, just the ashes of everyone who doubted me. Burn with it or bow to it." There is no middle, no name signed, but fans were convinced it was from Kendrick. If that's true, then this wasn't just a beef anymore. It was a war for legacy. Not just who wins a round or who charts higher, but who history will remember. Meanwhile, Drake's timer kept ticking. Fans noticed something bizarre about the website. Every 24 hours, the background image would change ever so slightly. First, it was just flames. Then, a city skyline appeared in the distance. Then, a shadowy figure began forming in the smoke. On the fifth day, two shadows facing each other. The caption updated, "Two kings, one nightmare." People were now convinced that real Boogeyman.com was more than a diss rollout. It was a full-blown multimedia project. Insiders whispered about a short film, possibly a visual EP, and even a surprise podcast episode. Drake's voice narrating the battle in his own words. But the boiling point came when Drake's own son became a trending topic. Paparazzi photos showed Adonis wearing a hoodie with the phrase, "Monsters are real, and they call me Junior." Critics were outraged. Some accused Drake of using his child as a prop in his war. Others defended it, saying it was artistic expression. But one thing was clear: Drake was all in. And then, silence, no posts, no leaks, nothing from either side. Until an OVO sound engineer tweeted, "The tape is done. The monster's coming." And just hours later, Kendrick's long-dormant Spotify profile was updated. No music. It's just a single new playlist. The title, Last Breaths. It contained nothing but one sound, breathing, slow, heavy, almost meditative. But at the 1-minute mark, a voice whispers, "You hear that? That's the sound of your name." Fading, and fans knew. The stage wasn't just set, it was rigged, ready to blow. The moment that whisper echoed across the internet, "You hear that? That's the sound of your name." Fading, fans collectively lost their minds. Kendrick hadn't dropped a verse, a video, or even a post, but somehow he had delivered one of the coldest responses in recent hip-hop memory. Subtle, surgical, terrifying. And what did Drake do? He smiled. Literally, he posted a photo of himself at the OVO compound, standing on the rooftop, staring at a billboard that read, "You called the Boogeyman. Now watch him dance." The caption, Just a single hourglass emoji. That hourglass hit different. It wasn't just about time running out. It was a promise. And then midnight struck. The countdown on real Boogeyman.com hit 0. And what dropped wasn't just a song, was a 12-minute mini-film titled This Is Your King. Shot in black and white, narrated by Drake himself, with interludes of spoken word, leaked voicemails, news headlines, and bars so venomous. Fans were pausing every 30 seconds to catch their breath. He prayed in public, but whispered in envy, called himself conscious, but moved like he's empty. I paved your stage with my bones. And you danced on it proudly, but gods don't whisper back when mortals speak loudly. The internet exploded. Hashtag Boogeyman. Drake was trending worldwide within minutes. Fans started analyzing the video frame by frame. One moment showed a statue crumbling into dust as children watched in silence. People claimed it symbolized the fall of Kendrick's untouchable image. Another frame showed a crown melting over a speaker with the words "Royalty fades when truth plays louder." But even more shocking than the visuals was what came after. At the very end, after 12 minutes of psychological warfare, the screen went black and a simple message appeared. Your move, King. And that's when Kendrick broke his silence. 1 hour later, his Twitter account posted a single word. Soon, no image. No explanation. It's just that. But while the world was still recovering from the drop, a new firestorm was brewing. One of Kendrick's closest collaborators, rumored to be Baby Keem himself, leaked a voice note in frustration. In it, he says, "Man, this ain't what it was supposed to be. It's gone too far. Ain't even about music anymore. It's about who they want remembered." That one line sparked an identity crisis in the fanbase. What if this battle was no longer lyrical, but existential? What if both artists were less concerned with bars and more obsessed with immortality? But even as questions swirled, Drake wasn't finished. The next morning, Vo's Instagram page dropped a teaser for a second visual. This one even darker in tone. The caption read, "You forgot who built the haunted house. Welcome back." Fans now believe Drake had prepared a full visual trilogy, a series of interconnected films tied to diss tracks, all telling one overarching story, that he was the architect of modern hip-hop. And Kendrick was just a guest who overstayed his welcome. Meanwhile, Kendrick's silence began to feel like the eye of a hurricane. Not inactivity, but calculated stillness. And then the storm hit. A surprise pop-up concert was announced in Compton. Kendrick was performing. Tickets sold out in 3 minutes. No press, no openers, just Kendrick. And when he stepped onto the stage, wearing all white, the crowd erupted. He opened with a new freestyle, never before heard bars, delivered over a live orchestra, and he didn't hold back. They dressed in masks to hide. It's their fears, but I baptize ghosts in front of peers. He called himself the Boogeyman with a grin, but forgot demons don't win where gods begin. The crowd went wild. Fans live streamed it across every platform. Twitter melted, Reddit servers crashed, and Drake, for once, went quiet. Not even a meme. Not even a like. Just silence. The media went into frenzy. Outlets were calling it the greatest rap standoff of the decade. Major podcasts debated who was truly winning. Academics and Boodum clashed live. Charlemagne declared, "This ain't beef anymore. It's a spiritual warfare." But the most unexpected twist came when Kanye West, yes, Kanye posted a cryptic message. "I warned y'all about both of them. Now they're destroying the foundation." Fans couldn't tell if he was throwing shade, inserting himself, or just watching the fire burn. But what happened next flipped the narrative completely. An OVO whistleblower leaked documents from an unreleased Drake project titled Legacy Overwritten. Inside were drafts of lyrics that included references to Kendrick's family specifically. his cousin Keem, and an old family rift. Fans felt it crossed a line. The backlash was immediate. Even some of Drake's loyal followers questioned his tactics. One viral post read, "You want to win the crown or burn the kingdom down? Pick one." Suddenly, Drake's Boogeyman persona wasn't being cheered, was being feared. And not in a good way. Kendrick, ever the master of timing, responded not with lyrics, but with a letter. Posted to his website, handwritten and addressed to the culture. In it, he wrote, "This was never about dominance. It was about honesty. If I become the last one standing in a field of ashes, I haven't. 1. Real kings plant seeds, not tombstones." The internet paused. Fans were divided again. Was this an olive branch? A final blow, or a checkmate disguised as humility? And just when it seemed the war might finally cool off, Drake announced a surprise. OVO radio special. The episode was titled Eulogy for a Crown. He played one track, no hook, no chorus, just one continuous verse, nearly 9 minutes long. A lyrical inferno. He rapped. He wrote poems in caves while I lit the skyline, talk truth, and pretend. But I live in the headlines. You called it art, but it's cosplay at best. I raised this city. You just watched from the west. Fans went crazy. It was clear. Drake had no intention of ending this, and Kendrick's response was instantaneous. A surprise snippet was posted to Piggy Lang's official account. Just for bars. "If death is the price of truth, then I've paid in advance. You play God with illusions. I just give the dance. Don't fear the dark gets where stars are born. The boogeyman dies at the break of dawn." And then it ended, no title, no beat. Just bars, in silence. Again, as the dust settled, fans were left wondering, was this the end of round 2? Or just the middle of something even deeper? Had they reached a truce in shadows? Or were both sides waiting for a third act? Either way, one thing was now crystal clear. This wasn't just music. This was mythology. So now, here we are. Two giants of the game, circling each other like shadows. At sundown, one calling himself the Boogeyman, the other moving like a silent prophet. What started as a lyrical feud has evolved into something far deeper: spiritual warfare. Legacy at stake and pride being weaponized in every verse. Drake's not just out for revenge. He's trying to rewrite history. And Kendrick, he's answering with poise, precision, and a terrifying calmness that suggests he's always known this day would come. From leaked diss tracks and psychological visuals to whispers of family betrayal and coded threats, this saga has become the most intense rap drama of the decade. The industry is divided, the fans are glued to their screens, and even fellow artists are too scared to speak up. And the scariest part? It might not even be over, because both men haven't dropped their final cards. Drake's promised more. Kendrick's hinted at legacy. And somewhere between the burning thrones and broken crowns, there's a truth waiting to be revealed. One last verse that could either end it all or blow this war wide open. So what do you think? Has Drake truly become the real Boogeyman? Or is Kendrick just waiting in the shadows, ready to bury the myth once and for all? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's winning the war, Dreezy or K. And what's next? Don't forget to like this video if you're riding with the real drama. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter in this lyrical saga. And hit that bell so you're the first to know when another diss drops or twist unfolds. Because in this game of kings and monsters, the next move could change everything.